What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we are here at the Nerd Castle with the next episode of the Banner Saga. I had a few people email me and ask why the levity, like there's not a whole lot of joking or anything going on in this series, and that's because I want to keep it light in this game. I want to keep joking, not to a minimum, but I want to leave levity where it belongs because I've heard this game is like really sad, and there's going to be all kinds of drama unfolding, and I want to make sure that the commentary fits the tone. That aside, let's go ahead and talk to some of the people we have here and get a feel for what's going on. You knew him well, didn't you? Wagner? No. Well, I don't know. I remember him. Always rushing around with some important business, but I never knew him. Never got a chance to talk much. Longer than I did, in any case. Well, I suppose so. When he spoke, Varl listened. I knew that. I could use help here. The Scrivener leans back, considering the sentiment. I've seen worse. They respect you for your ability to swing an axe. They need to respect you for your actions. But you're not talking to the right Varl. Mogir's got some skill there. Most I can do is hold a quill. What are you always jotting down in that journal? How do you mean? What do I write? I write what happens. They've got a banner and arbor ring for that, you know. You mean the long banner? Yeah, the Menders wove up something that writes its own history. You want my opinion? I don't trust it. No? It tells a broad story. I think there's some value in the narrow. Whose story does it write? Mine, theirs, Luden's, God, I don't know, God forbid. You relic. The gods have been dead a long time. Oh, have they? Old habits, I suppose. I heard you were a terror in your day. Do you know how old I am? Dare I ask? I'm competing, you know. Nobody knows how old we Varl can get, naturally. There's one by the name of Snorri. He's got a few years on me, just hunkers in Grofheim collecting rhyme. Bastard might actually beat me. Another one named Krumer is close, I think, but the addled son of a bitch still welcomes a fight. He'll probably get off before I am. Although, the Scrivener gestures around him as if to remind you of the current situation. You chuckle. Anyways, point is, what difference does it make? I'm just a delivery baron for Gerunder now. Can't remember half of what I've done. Hence the journal? Hence, don't get fancy on my behalf, Hakon. Alright, I won't. Well, let's get some rest. I'm a little tired out with lore. I've hoofed more hills than a horse born with a grudge. Don't worry about me. So we're going to send people off to have a nap here and see if we can get ourselves into a little bit of a fist fight or slash some fools up before the end of the episode. Let's talk to our bearded friend. I'd ask how you're dealing with Wagner's death, but I already know the answer. Do you? Steady old Mogir, which is good. I know most of these Varl, but they're not under my command. They came to follow Wagner. Tell you the truth, I wouldn't want to be in your position either. Anything you can tell me about the caravan? Throw together this many Varl, half of them want to hit each other and the rest want to be left alone. Anyone I should keep an eye on? There's a couple of clan leaders trying to show off for each other. Not a big deal, mind you. I think I've got it under control. The fighters we just got from Strand aren't bad, but they're unruly. Give it a few days. And there are a few moaning about fighting for you instead of Wagner. Those are the ones to worry about. What about Luden's men? They don't want to hear anything from me, I know that. Any problems? Could be. Luden's pet Varl is named Bercy. I'm not sure where he came from or what his deal is. Bastard knows how to fight, but there's something I don't like about him. His girl in red is scary too, Ursa. She's probably the best fighter Luden's got, to be honest. I overheard some of the Varl, they call her the Witch. Why? The flaming arrows, I think. It's a good trick, but the fire upsets our Varl more than the dredge. Still doesn't make much sense. Which? They're not scholars, Hakon. I think they're mostly just afraid of her. That makes more sense. Well, don't let her find out. You think we're walking into a death trap here? With this many Varl? Nah, we should be alright. Things could get rough, though. I don't like being the one to send Varl to their deaths. I like worrying about myself, and that's the extent of it. Who would have expected Wagner to drop like that to a couple of slag? I'm still wondering what happened. He had hundreds of dead slag to his name. I don't get it. Just happens sometimes, no big moment. I'm sure it surprised him more than any of us. Although I have to wonder, but never mind. Anyways, I'll worry about the warriors. You worry about not doing something stupid. That's asking a lot. What were you holding back about Wagner? I'd rather not say, Hakon. And why not? It's the kind of thing that it gets stuck in your head and you need a clear one. It's better if you let me worry about it. If you say so, keep it to yourself. If there's a reason to bring it up again, I will. Let's get back to it. Let me know if you need anything else. Absolutely. We probably need to buy some supplies. Oh, never mind. We've got like 65 days worth of food. Oh my god, that's a lot of food. I get the feeling something terrible is going to happen, though, and kind of diminish some of those supplies because that feels way too safe to me. Let's leave, and then we'll figure out what's going on. Actually, let me check my heroes roster one more time. It's been a while since we've been back at this camp, and I want to make sure anybody that can be leveled up is leveled up. So our War Master, Hakon's ready to go. We'll promote him. And let me make sure I know what his ability is one more time. It's been a while since we played last. It's been about 2 days since I've been together with these characters, since we've had any type of interaction. So let me look. He's got Sunder Impact. And he wreaks havoc. Let's see. It's best used when carefully positioned to impact as many enemies around the target. I think it does damage to adjacent people, if I remember correctly. And then what was his other ability? Okay, so he's got Heavy Impact. Okay, so they take damage from the shockwave, and then he hits even harder. And does an additional +1 and +1. Okay, so he probably does 2 strength and 1, and then it just kind of increases and gets better and better and better with time as we level up. Let's get back to it. We've also got to give him some points. I think I'm going to go... He's an offensive character, so let me go with all-out strength. Since what I saw in the last episode, he was able to one-shot people pretty frequently, just straight out of the gate. So let's start by getting him beefcaked out. And once he's there, I mean, right now he can do 18 damage, which will pretty much cancel out just about anybody's armor aside from like a shield banger or any of the defensive characters, basically. I don't know if running Piers is a good way to go, but... it's what I'm going to stick with. I may as well. With Eirik, he's ready to go too. Let me have a look at him and we'll figure out what he does one more time. One of the disappointing things about running an LP is you often forget what's going on because this game only holds like 1 save from what I can tell, so I can't play on my own to familiarize myself. We're doing this completely and totally blind, and there's no way for me myself to really circumnavigate that situation. His ability was Rally, which grants an ally 2 willpower. He also has Light Step, which is the same thing that Rook has. Luckily, he's able to shoot a bow, which should be nice. Okay, so he's mostly going to be support. We'll back off on him. And I think where I want to put the points, let's go ahead and get him really nice at breaking armor. Because we have him in the back anyways. He's able to use 2 links right there, so he'll be able to deal 5 damage to armor if we really, really need him to. And I think that's going to be a good thing for us. Let's get ourselves on up and out of here, and we'll hit the road. So you can cue the bong dicka bong dicka bong dicka bong dicka type travel music. And we will we'll pet the woolly oxen of travel. We'll give tribute to his woolly behind, and then we'll be off. And that is quite the scene. It's a little... look at that. The perfect radius. It reminds me of those dandelions that glow out in fields. Look at that, says Mogir, in the hills. More dredge. No more than a dozen, though. We could just as easily pass by as rush up there to slaughter them. Luden overhears. That's a dozen dredge heading towards Strand, he has. You ask him when he started to care about Strand. I don't, he replies. I thought you did. Well, let's deal with it ourselves. The caravan stops and waits while you lead a small detachment up the hillside to take care of the dredge quickly. You tell Luden to stay by the caravan. He folds his arms and mutters something about being treated like a child. Well, don't act like one, you won't get treated like one. If we've only got 4 men, they said there was a dozen. If this is going 4v3, if this is going 4v12 or 1v3, this is going to be really, really hectic. This could go completely and totally the opposite direction that I expected. Appears as though we've got 8 versus our 4. God. We have 2 men, though, that are able to lay down the pain pretty strongly, so... we'll see what happens. Who's first up? He's going to be our first actor. And where is he at in the turn order? He's second. He's not showing up at all, so that means he's so far back that he doesn't even count. Sucks to be him. I guess I'm going to use a willpower. He's only got 9 armor. That's a terrible idea, too. I should have organized a little bit better. I should have moved people around a tad. I'm going to step up to here, and we're just going to knock him out of combat now. Good night. What was his ability one more time? Bring the pain. Oh, that's right, where he counters. I recall that. I'm going to step him forward into the fray then, and then we're going to trigger that, because that's going to put him within range of as many of these guys. So he's going to be in range of him, he's going to be almost in range of him, he is in range of him. So yeah, let's do that. We're going to trigger Bring the Pain. Or I'm sorry, I thought Bring the Pain, what? I thought Bring the Pain doubled the result of whatever happened. Oh, you gotta strike somebody first? That's super weak. I don't like that at all. In any case, let's form up a line here. He's got Tempest, so we need to get him into the middle of a fight somewhere. Maybe step him to the side and then have him kind of cross the eye right there. Cross the eye? Cross the T, maybe? That sounds about right. I've already made some huge mistakes in this battle, and I think I'm probably going to pay for it. Not happy with my performance just now. Skipping my deployment phase was one of those minor brain farts that is just like, did something stupid, and there's nothing I could do now to fix it. We're going to move him to the back of the line for the moment. Oh, he doesn't have a bow on his back. Alright, well that's fine. He doesn't have a bow on his back, which means he isn't a fancy lady, but at the same time, I don't mind that position for him. I want to make sure that all of our big guys, our Varl, are going to be taking the damage before he does, because if you look at their stats, I mean, he's got a lot less to sink than the Varl do. Plus, they're going to form up here between this and the next turn, so he's got his next turn ready to go. We're going to step him on over. That one's got 10 armor. And what is Sunder going to do for me? I don't think that's going to help me much. Let's get going on his strength, because we want to make sure his strength is below his armor. I could go all out on him and hit him for 6, which would leave him in a really, really bad position for his future turns. Who's going next, by the way? I feel the need to figure out who's attacking me next. Okay, so it's going to be him. Well, then nobody too worrisome is coming in next. We'll just do a normal attack. Traded 1 damage for 1 damage. I'm going to leave him where he's at right now. And I think with where the battlefield is arranging itself... He's not next, is he? When do I get to move this guy? Okay, pretty soon. That's good, because I want to move him to right here and do all kinds of crazy damage. And it's gonna be amazing with you. Let's go with Bring the Pain. And that means if he gets struck now in between here and the next turn, he should do 2 armor damage back. Yep, there it is. Amazing. Awesome. Really happy with that result. We're gonna move him to right there. And then our goal is gonna be to use Tempest. Is it gonna hit him? I feel bad about this. I really hope there's no friendly fire. Good, there's no friendly fire. I feel better. I was a little worried. I'm not gonna lie to you. I puckered a little bit before I did that ability. I was a little concerned. He can move through allies, but that is gonna leave him extended. That's okay. We'll move him to right there, and we'll get rid of this guy. No, not end the turn. Attack. With a 90% chance, I think we can get him. Let's try for it. And there it is. 1 more dredge down. Ah, okay. Alright. The positioning is definitely becoming apparent with the course of this battle. He can't attack diagonally, unfortunately. I keep thinking people can attack diagonally, and I keep making mistakes. I apologize, guys. I keep doing really dumb stuff, and I can feel you guys gritting your teeth through my commentary right now. I'm like, God, that was my fault. I just did something super dumb. Super dumb. Now then. What might be interesting is to allow him to fall back and wait to see what this guy does. If he moves forward... Yeah, there it is. So this may not work as well as planned. At the same time, it might do something. We accomplished a little bit. I mean, he's not going to be able to tank much longer. So I should probably figure something out here with regards to armor sundering. Let's handle this front with as much aplomb as we can. So there's 7. Sundering action gone right there. He's got 6 strength left, which means he's not going to be able to power through any of these guys. Who's up next? He's there. No, don't do that. And he's up there. Okay, that gives me a little bit of a chance to disengage him from combat. Let's back him off a tad. And I'd like to plug this hole if I can get away with it. He can move through allies, so maybe putting him right there would stop this whole thing off and keep it from turning into a cluster. Just a cluster of pain. So 2 damage done right there. He's able to move through allies, and so we're going to move him to that spot. And then we're going to have him bring the noise on him with everything that he's worth. He's now tanking, which is concerning. Let me see if I, through movement foo, I can get him on him. No, I can't. Okay. Well, then we'll finish off this dredge. I kind of view this, I was going to turn this combat down, but I view it as a nice opportunity to get some more renown, too. We need characters to get some kills so that they come out at the end game at a little bit higher. And who knows, like, these 10 kills might change the course of the game where somebody might be at 1 or 2 ranks higher once we get to that point. I mean, that could be how it plays out. You never know. Let's do 5 damage right there to clear the field for him so that he can be nice and safe. 2 armor damage done. And on this side, now that he's clear, I'm going to move him over here and maybe we can deal some damage. A lot of these guys have had their armor marginalized and limited, so it should work out in our favor. He's now there. He's up next. Okay. So yeah, I think we might be able to get him the hell out of the way and keep him alive. Let's sneak him on back out. Yeah, there it is. So that didn't turn out so terribly. This guy right here is our new concern. He's got 13 strength left. He's got 6 armor, so we could potentially ace this guy instantly. Yeah, it's difficult to like not lose somebody simply because moving around the battlefield is so tremendously limited in this game. He's got 8 strength left, so I'm just gonna run away. That guy's still hitting way too hard to not be taken seriously. Although not hard enough to drop this guy, so it should be alright. Use up some willpower to get him into position. And then we'll sunder his armor a tad, just so in the next turn we can kill him off with this character. Keep him falling back and away, just because I don't want to lose him. You don't want to have too many wounded people. If you didn't know, in the earlier episodes we had talked about that if you lose characters, what essentially happens is that they become wounded, and the problem with becoming wounded is that it lowers your total strength for later on. You can participate in fights, you just kind of suck. So we want to limit the amount of people who get knocked out in each battle. Luckily they don't die permanently or anything, because that would be a major chip in our armor. That would be a really, really bad thing. Let's continue on rolling. And they do heal over the course of days too. Our morale seems to be really, really good. Hack on. You can hear Luden's hard-booted trot as you set up camp for the first day and brace yourself. Can we speak as equals? Well, we can try. It seems clear to me you plan to kill a lot of dredge along the way, am I right? Why do you ask? Because since we left Arborang, the Varl has been acting like I need protection. Don't assume only the Varl can fight, you understand me? That is my banner we fly to Grofheim, the banner of Arborang, and I insist on joining the battle. Almost gutted in your first encounter and you're ready for more? Whatever you like, Prince. And, I expected more resistance. From Vognir, maybe. They tell me you were his kender. That's why you're in charge now. Some sort of next of kin Varl thing? Don't you take on his responsibilities? In my own way. And stop acting like I'm a thorn in your side. When you're nearly 200 years old, it's hard to take a 20-year-old man seriously. Well, you better start. We'll both be king someday. The last thing I need to think about right now. Luden looks at you as though you just punched yourself in the face. He heads back to his tent before saying whatever was on his mind. I think Luden's either potentially going to be a problem or he's going to be the greatest character ever lately. He could go either way. On exertion, you've got some characters with high exertion. Don't overlook this important stat. Yeah, okay, so yeah, we knew about that. That's all good. We have a couple people we can talk to here. We've only got about, 8 minutes left in the episode, maybe 5 minutes if we're really lucky. Let's go to our Hall of Heroes, and we're going to do our upgrades first. If we even have any. I know somebody got a promotion here. Ah, it was Hack-On. Which is sort of, his name is sort of ironic considering he has a giant axe, so that's exactly what he does. He hacks on Garth. But anyways, let's pay the 10 renown to get him back up. We've got tons of supplies, so I don't foresee us really needing it to buy more supplies. I'd rather spend the renown getting them way better in combat. Part of me wants to go straight up to 18, but in the last battle, we did have a little bit of a worrisome situation where he was running out of armor pretty frequently. He's gone up to rank 2 right there, which means that his Sundering Impact has gotten a little bit better. He now does +1 strength damage and 1 break damage on a heavy impact. Alright. I think I'm going to go for exertion on him. For the main reason... I'm sorry, that's exertion right there. Hold on, cancel that. His exertion is already satisfactory, so we'll go 1 right there, and then we'll go 1 into his willpower so that he can hit a little bit harder. For other characters, Mogir's ready to go. Mogir is sort of a tanky character. He comes with a shield and a flanged mace, so I think it's probably going to be worthwhile for us to stick him full of armor for the future, especially since the goal with him is to set him up in the middle of the enemy and just have him counterattack all day long. He's sort of the ninja from, actually no, ninja was double strike, wasn't it? I can't remember, but anyways, I think the ninja also counter-striked in Final Fantasy Tactics, and so you always wanted to set your ninja, or whatever class it was, up in the center of the enemy so that they would double strike, counter-strike back, and I think I'm going to use him very similarly, so let's go for a bit of armor right there, and we'll also go for an extra strength. Gunnulf's not ready to go. Ursa. Okay, so that's that character they were just talking about, the lady that was there to keep an eye on something. I don't remember. She's a witch. She's got magic powers. She floats when you throw her in a lake. Let's go ahead and talk with her, actually. We haven't had an introduction to this character, and while he looks super awesome, we're going to start over here. Ursa, right? She watches you approach with her head tilted back and points a thumb towards Luden's tent. No, here for you. Oh? Can we talk? Ursa shakes her head no, a smile on her lips, eyelids low. Why not? I don't. In those two curiously contradictory words, you get two impressions. She has a beautiful obsidian voice, and this might be a complete waste of time, she watches you expectantly. You don't talk? No. You do, though. I don't. She smiles warmly, clearly enjoying her game. She watches you expectantly. You're Luden's bodyguard? No, he's mine. Before you have the chance to be confused, she cackles abruptly and loud, then looks slightly embarrassed. You're his personal bodyguard, though. Her expression changes to, of course. How did you end up with someone like Luden? Luck. She watches you expectantly. It's about the flaming arrow. Let's find out about her flaming arrows. She raises an eyebrow. Varl and fire don't get along. All you get is a shrug. If you're gonna use them... She pulls an arrow, there's a flick of the wrist you don't quite catch. Suddenly a bird combusts in the tree behind you and falls to the ground smoldering. Half the camp is turned to watch. She kind of just pulled like the same ability that what's-her-name has, Fiona in Shrek, how she pops birds with her voice. She kind of has that, except she makes them explode into fire. Don't tell me not to. She watches you expectantly. Well, this has been fun. She crosses her arms, a hand on her chin, and cocks her head to one side. Till next time, Ursa. Hack on. You stop and look over your shoulder. I'm a witch, so be careful. She puts her forefinger to her lips with a soft shh. You depart, not quite sure what to make of that. I'll tell you what I make of that. We gotta throw her in a lake. We gotta compare her to very small pebbles and see what happens. Make sure she doesn't newt anybody. Let's go talk to this gent over here with his manly black beard. You got a moment? You approach Bercy. He lowers the book he was reading. He doesn't strike you as the book-reading type. You're Bercy. And you're Hack-On. We've gotten that out of the way, haven't we? I had some questions for you. Say what you want to say. What's a Varl doing working for Luden? What's a Varl doing working for another Varl? What difference does it make? It looks like you're in charge right now, so do me a favor and don't get Luden killed. He's important to you? No, but that's one way to put it. Where'd you learn to fight? Same way as you, by fighting. You know what I mean. I robbed well-protected merchants for at least one man's lifetime. Is that what you mean? Yeah? Not anymore? Well, I've had a lot of jobs. Can I trust you? What a loaded question. It depends on what you mean. Whose back will you have if things go wrong? Assume I'm looking out for myself and you'll figure it out. Does Luden understand that? Luden doesn't even understand that half his army is here just to protect him from the people he talks to. You laugh at the unexpected gouge. Bercy grins, pleased with himself. Anything else you want to know? I won't keep you any longer. See you on the battlefield, O leader of Varl. You could join us. I'm where I want to be. Don't forget what I said about keeping Luden alive. Got it? As you step away, you can't help but wonder if there was a bit of a threat behind that gravelly request. Alrighty then. It feels as though we're surrounded on all sides by just kind of grumpy, hostile individuals. Everybody here seems to be a little bit on the terse side. I really don't know what else to say about it. Before we go any further, I feel like it's going to be a good idea to break off this episode. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for another episode of the Banner Saga. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care out there, everybody. If you're interested in getting the game, it's down below in the comments. I'm sorry, in the description. Not in the comments, although I suppose it could end up there somehow by some strange happenstance, but it's down in the description. I've got the link for the download. Take care, everybody, and I will see you next time.